Hello, this is Anne Marie from Seattle, and I am starting my live launch. And um, the, what I decided to do was talk a little bit about how I ended up doing energetics to begin with, and also how I came to be an Earth Whisperer anymore. There, I invited some people. Oh, good. Hi. Oh, good. I'm so glad you're here. Yeah, it's a new experience to do this launch, and I'm so glad to have some company. So, welcome, 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 welcome. What I started to say at the very beginning when I left a note 5 minutes ago was I was going to talk to you a little bit about my history. How did I end up doing space clearing and earth whispering, which is quite different than my background. I was raised very conservative, Irish Catholic, and my family was quite conservative, more than maybe other people's. Um, you know, yeah, we prayed a lot in my family, which was good, all good. And we also went to church, and there was lots of rules. One of the things that happened for me is my father was really opposed to any kind of, what did he call it? Intuitiveness, I guess. You know, like the Ouija board. He had come home, he had had a really bad experience. He came home from church one time, and then they were playing with the Ouija board, and the Ouija board started swearing and doing all these horrible things. And so he always just assumed the Ouija board was always evil. So it wasn't allowed to be in our house, except my grandmother moved in and had it underneath her bed, which is pretty funny. So she had a Ouija board, and she said some prayers or something before we started. So it wasn't, there's no evilness coming out of that board. It's spirits talking to us, I guess. But that was really not very often. And I pretty much kind of forgot about it. You know, I mean, if you would have told me, did I have any background in paranormal kinds of activity, I would have said no. No, my family wasn't into that stuff. So, long story short, I am at a coffee shop in Seattle that's no more. It was just, you know, a little hole in the wall coffee shop. It was called the B&O, and they had a hand painted sign of a rail car, an engine outside. And it was owned by a woman, and she had recently gotten married, and her husband felt like they should class it up a little bit. So they were like starting to put tablecloths on and stuff like that. But really, it was just hole in the wall for lattes and cookies and things like that. So it was a day off because it was Veterans Day, although I like to call it the day of peace. Hi, Lisa. Nice. Oh, and Barbara's here. Oh, excellent, excellent, excellent. Anyway, welcome, welcome, welcome. So I like to call it the day of peace. So at 11 o'clock in the morning on 11/11 in 1986, a cup just shattered in my hand. It was one of those cups that was just all glass. In fact, I have one somewhere. I didn't bring it. But, you know, with a handle, they put coffee in it, clear, not fancy. Anyway, I'm drinking my coffee, holding the cup, and all of a sudden, it just shattered into like 1,000 pieces. And I was like, oh my gosh, what is going on? This is so strange. So I looked down, and my lukewarm latte was on my gray slacks. And I can remember thinking, like, gosh, I hope this comes out. But I didn't get burned or anything. And then I thought, oh my gosh, I must have got cut. And I didn't. Well, the new owner, or the husband, came over, and he was so upset, like, oh my gosh, what happened? Are you okay? You know, and then, you know, I said, yeah, I'm fine. I'm not cut. I don't know what just happened. And then he was, so then he's, you know, sweeping it up, cleaning it all up. And comes and says, "Oh, let me get you another latte," which, who's going to turn down a free latte? So I get it, but this time he's careful. Puts in a styrofoam cup. Doesn't trust me. I still remember that. So we're sitting there. I've got more coffee, so we're sitting there talking, and I'm talking to my friend Barb, and I said, what just happened? And she goes, "I don't know, but I think it's some kind of paranormal activity." And I said, "You do?" She said, "Yeah." See, that's how much I was into this stuff. Well, it just happened that the guy sitting next to us had been going to school in California. It was John F. Kennedy's university, and I don't remember the detail now. He either was getting a master's in paranormal activity, or he was studying it in a BA in a Bachelor of Arts. But regardless, he knew some things, and he says, "Oh, this is a paranormal activity, and I know about this because I'm studying it at this university." And I'm like, "Right, you're making this up." And then my friend says, "Well, you know what? I talked to my sister 2 weeks ago, and she's interested in this stuff. She did cards or something like that. And she was just telling me about this university. So what this guy is saying, there is a legitimate program in near San Francisco." I said, "Oh, okay." And he says, "So you need to find yourself a psychic to tell you what all this means." And Barb and I looked at each other and were like, okay. This was in '86. They weren't exactly like all over the place, and so we didn't know anybody. So we started thinking about our friends, and we had one friend who was from South Africa. So we thought, maybe she different culture background. She might know somebody who's involved or knows something about the psychic phenomena. Well, it turned out that she didn't, but she knew this other woman was, who I never would have suspected that. She was an older woman who had been a doctor's wife, very formal in a lot of ways, fun but formal. And she was into this stuff, and she told me the intuitive person I should go to hear about this. So I went and got a reading, and she felt that the date 11/11 and 11 o'clock didn't mean anything, but I knew in my gut it meant something. See, that's what's so important. Just because somebody tells you something doesn't, even if they're psychic, doesn't make it true. You've got to go into yourself and figure it out. So anyway, long story short, she says, because I was I didn't know anything. She says, I'm just teaching a class on know your psychic power, know your psychic ability, and we're going to go through different things, and she lists a number of things to know about. She said, I think it would be great if you took this class. So, I did, and I learned different kinds of things like dowsing and, hearing, seeing. People had visions. People have different kinds of talents intuitively. So one person might see something, and another person might hear something. Somebody might feel something. Somebody might sense something. So you use your senses in all different ways. Just like some people have a better sense of smell. It's the same idea. Anyway, so I took the class, but this time I didn't. So that's that. And what was I going to say? And I'm going to post the PayPal link down below. And all I need, this is how easy it is. This is why I'm really excited about it. All I need is your address and a front picture of your house and the back, because I use Google Earth. And sometimes Google Earth has sent me to the wrong address. So I want to be sure that I'm working with the right property. So that's that. So it's just that simple, your address, iPhone picture, it doesn't have to be fancy, backyard, back of the house, and that's it, and PayPal, and that's it. Does anybody have any questions? And thank you all for being here. Do, do, do. And if you have questions, you can ask me later, and I will answer them. How's that? Hi, Ray. Look at all these people. Thank you guys for joining me. I really appreciate it. It makes my day. Okay, and I will be posting those links down below. Take care. Have a dazzle of a day.